Zeus gained control of Olympus through divine bloodline and conquest, but in Chinese mythology, the throne of heaven is not a family heirloom. It can be earned and even passed to a new ruler. Meet the Jade Emperor, the ruler of heaven. But unlike Zeus, he wasn't born a god, and he didn't defeat his enemies to claim the throne. So, how did a mortal being rise above countless immortals and become the ruler? The Jade Emperor, also known as the Lord of Heaven or Lao Tian Ye in Chinese, rules over the gods, immortals, the living, and even the souls of the dead. Everything under heaven falls within his authority. His job is to keep the universe running. He oversees the gods, rewards good, punishes evil, hears people's prayer, and keeps order across heaven, earth, and the underworld. In Chinese folk religion, he is the highest god, the emperor of heaven. But in Taoism, he is not actually at the very top. Above him are the three pure ones, cosmic beings, who embody the Tao itself. They created the universe but rarely get involved in its day-to-day affairs. They are 元始天尊, the highest of the three pure ones. He represents the primordial source of the universe, before heaven and earth existed, when everything began. In the movie哪吒, the immortal who splits the chaos pearl into the spirit pearl and the demon orb is based on him. The second, 灵宝天尊, represents the cosmic lords that keep the universe in order. The third is 道德天尊, better known as 老子, the legendary author of the 道德经. In movies and TV series, he is usually portrayed as an old Taoist immortal in flowing robes, holding a flag whisk and making elixirs in his heavenly palace. The three pure ones oversee the cosmic order, but they don't deal with everyday affairs. They leave that job to the Jade Emperor. Think of it like a company. The three pure ones are the board of directors, while the Jade Emperor is the CEO. So, how did the CEO of the universe end up in that position? To understand where the Jade Emperor came from, we have to go back to China's earliest beliefs. Long before Taoism, ancient Chinese people worshipped a supreme god of heaven. During the Zhou dynasty, this deity became known as Lao Tian Ye, or simply the Heavenly Emperor. He wasn't imagined as a human-like god. Instead, he represented the highest power and the cosmic order of the universe. This ancient deity would later become the foundation of the Jade Emperor. When Taoism first introduced the Jade Emperor, he wasn't the ruler of heaven. He was just one god among many. That changed during Tang Dynasty. Writers, popular belief, and some Taoist texts gradually merged the Jade Emperor with the ancient Heavenly Emperor and gave him authority over all the gods. By then, he already ranked high among the gods of the heavenly realm. The key step came during the Northern Song dynasty. After years of war with Nordic kingdoms to the north, Emperor Zhenzong signed a peace treaty that required the Song dynasty to send silver and silk every year. Many people saw it as a humiliating compromise, so the emperor needed a new way to strengthen his legitimacy. He claimed the Jade Emperor had sent him a heavenly book. Using that story, he made the worship of the Jade Emperor part of the state official ceremonies, granted him an official imperial title, and spent enormous sums building grand temples in his honor. Even then, the Jade Emperor and the ancient Heavenly Emperor were still separate traditions. Later, Emperor Huizong united them by adding the name Hao Tian to the Jade Emperor's official title, identifying him with the ancient supreme god of heaven. That helped transform the Jade Emperor into the supreme ruler of heaven worship across China. So the Jade Emperor didn't become the highest god overnight. His status was shaped over centuries by folk beliefs, Taoism, and imperial court working together. At this point, you might be wondering, why did Emperor Zhenzong turn to the Jade Emperor to strengthen his legitimacy? The answer lies in an idea that has been deeply rooted in Chinese culture for thousands of years: the mandate of heaven. Heaven was believed to represent the highest cosmic order and moral authority, shaping human destiny and granting people their roles and fortunes. Human actions and the will of heaven were deeply connected. Those who follow heaven's will would maintain stability and prosperity, while those who defied it would eventually face disaster. In this case, it took the form of a ruler's authority being granted by heaven. An emperor ruled because heaven granted him that right, but only as long as he governed with virtue. If he became corrupt or immoral, heaven could take that mandate away and give it to someone else. It was never granted to last forever. That's what Emperor Zhenzong claimed the Jade Emperor had sent him a heavenly book. By doing so, he was using divine approval to prove that his rule was legitimate. Over time, this idea expanded beyond emperors and became part of everyday belief. People came to believe that doing good would earn heaven's protection by cultivating virtue and accumulating merits through their lives. Some could even transcend mortality and become gods or immortals. But those who commit evil would eventually face consequences, and those consequences might not fall on them alone. They could also affect their families and future generations. This idea that those with virtue deserve the highest position is reflected in the legends of the Jade Emperor. According to legend, the Jade Emperor was once a prince who gave up his throne to pursue spiritual cultivation. After countless years of practice, he eventually achieved enlightenment and rose through different levels of divine existence, first becoming a great immortal, then a being who governed the lords of heaven, and finally the supreme ruler of the heaven. The famous novel Journey to the West also explores why the Jade Emperor deserves his position. When Sun Wukong rebels against heaven, the Jade Emperor asks the Buddha to stop him. Sun Wukong believes that power determines who rules, arguing that someone as strong as him could take control of heaven. But the Buddha did not reject Sun Wukong's belief that the strongest should rule. Instead, he explained, he cultivated himself from a young age and endured 1,750 kalpas of suffering. Each kalpa lasted 129,600 years. Calculate yourself. How many years did he spend before he finally attained the supreme Tao? And you, a mere beast who has only just attained human form, how dare you speak such arrogant words? What a great offense! What a great offense! Such arrogance may cost you years from your whole life. The two stories share the same idea. The ruler of the heaven is not chosen by the bloodline, nor by brute force. The position is earned through long-term cultivation and countless trials, not just by mastering power, but by cultivating one's character and virtue. In many ways, this resembles China's ancient imperial examination system. An ordinary person who wanted to become a government official could not simply claim power. No matter how old they were, they had to pass years of exams and evaluations before earning a position. And if they failed to live up to the standards, they could lose it. This is what Chinese people have long believed. When someone's virtue is not enough to justify their position, that position will eventually bring their downfall. The idea of the mandate of heaven is still alive in Chinese folk beliefs today. In places like Fujian, Guangdong, and Hong Kong, there is a popular legend that the Jade Emperor ruled heaven for countless years, protected humanity, and finally completed his mission and accumulated enough merit to step down from the throne. The gods then chose Guan Yu as his successor, a god who has spent his life protecting people, doing good deeds, and overcoming disasters. Guan Yu, also known as Lord Guan or Guangong, was originally a human general, but because of his loyalty and righteousness, he was honored by both ordinary people and the imperial court. Over time, he was transformed into a Taoist guardian deity and a god of wealth. This is another example of the idea a high position is earned through virtue. Even humans can become gods. But it is important to know that Guan Yu succeeding the Jade Emperor is a folk legend, not part of official Taoist teachings. Some people might think the Jade Emperor's authority came mainly from religion and imperial power, but that's not the whole story. The Jade Emperor's power was never written only in imperial decrees or religious texts. It lived in the beliefs and daily lives of ordinary people, and it still does today. Many Chinese people rarely call him the Jade Emperor in everyday life. Instead, they call him Lao Tian Ye, literally "O Heaven" or simply Heaven. When people face hardship, a simple "May Heaven protect me" can become their shyest prayer. When illness or disaster strikes, some may even cry out, "Heaven, please save me," as if he can truly hear them. This way of addressing him carries a sense of closeness. He is not just a distant ruler sitting above the clouds, but more like an elder someone can turn to and share their troubles with. Every year, on the ninth day of the first lunar month, people celebrate the Jade Emperor's birthday. From Fujian and Guangdong to Taiwan and Southeast Asia, worshippers prepare altars, burn incense, and offer fruits and vegetarian food late on the eighth night. At midnight, they kneel together and pray in a ceremony known as 拜天公, worshipping heaven. It is the annual celebration held for the highest official of heaven. Unlike Zeus, who became king of the gods through power and bloodline, the Jade Emperor's authority came from something very different, the mandate of heaven. He was shaped by centuries of interaction between imperial power, Taoism, and folk beliefs. More than just a ruler of heaven, he represents an ideal Chinese belief. The highest position should belong to those with the greatest virtue. For thousands of years, he has lived on in Chinese culture, not only as the Jade Emperor, but as Lao Tian Ye, heaven itself, in the words of ordinary people. That's the story of the Jade Emperor. What do you think about the idea that virtue, rather than strength or birth, determines who deserves the highest position? Share your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.